Galacticos, after the Clasico at the Camp Nou, 1-1, one for Real Madrid, one for Barcelona. Welcome. We're going to analyze the game a little bit as we always do. We're going to go after to Mateo in the social corner, read some of your comments. I know some of you must be very excited after today's game. Some of you might be like I was, a little disappointed because I think Real Madrid deserved more, especially after what we showed in the first half. Maybe not after what we saw or what we showed in the second half. But anyway, if last year, I don't know if you remember the review from Camp Nou last year when we won 2-1, and I opened the review with two words, Cristiano, Ronaldo. Today I have to open with two different words, Sergio Ramos. You can call him Sergio Ramos, Sergio Ramos, or El Camero, as we call him here in Spain, because he comes from a little town in Andalusia called Camas, which means beds, you know, where you sleep. So El Camero, Sergio Ramos, once again, I think this deserves a special mention or a chapter apart in the history of Real Madrid. Sergio Ramos with his last-minute headers, you know, be it in the league, be it in Copa del Rey, be it in Champions League, be it in whatever it is, Sergio Ramos and, you know, header goals at the end of the game deserve a special little space in the history of football, and especially in Real Madrid and in today's game, because definitely this is 33 games in a row that Real Madrid are unbeaten. I think the record is held by Barcelona with 39, something that happened 2 years ago. And you know, if there was a chance to break or to stop that streak, was today. Again, I don't think we deserve to lose after what we saw in the 90 minutes. I think the draw was maybe the most fair result for both teams and for both and because of what both did, definitely. But again, Sergio Ramos saving Zidane's, let's say, streak and making it able for us to continue this winning or unbeaten streak. And again, let's talk to the game. The first 10 minutes, I would say, first 5 or 10 minutes, we saw some kind of timid domination by Barcelona. Maybe because of the environment, maybe because of the pressure and the necessity they had for the points. And because they're playing at home, they always do that. So the first 10 minutes, I think Real Madrid sat back, maybe a little bit too much, just expectating and waiting for to see what Barcelona could do. But after those 10 minutes, we kind of realized that if we pressured them a little bit up higher, and if we, discussed, let's say, the possession of the ball, we could really hurt them, because today, Barcelona's first half, I have to say, was one of the worst first half by Barcelona I have seen in a long time. One of the weakest, with the least ideas. I think Barcelona tried to go forward and take advantage. I think the last half an hour of the first half, Real Madrid was very superior. We didn't have any very clear chances, but I think, deducting it from the game, we could have deserved more than a 0-0 to go to the break. I do think that. Modric in the first half, to me, the second half was a little weaker. He was way too tired, but the first half by Modric was to put in a frame. Definitely, he owned the midfield defensively and offensively, moving the ball with criteria, and very fair to say, between him and Kovacic, and well, of course, the collaboration from Isco, we were able to dry Messi, Neymar, nothing from Suarez. A very vulgar Barcelona in the first half. And I think we were feeling comfortable, and we went to that break thinking, okay, if we continue in this same line, the normal thing is for us to win the game. After 45 minutes, I felt, I don't really remember, well, I do remember, but it was a long time ago, Real Madrid dominating Barcelona at the Camp Nou, and I think that's what we saw in the first half. And then the second half, the first 5 minutes, I thought we were going to see a little bit more of the same. That was the dynamic we were seeing. But then, of course, comes a foul by Varane. It's a foul on the side. It's, could be considered a risky foul because, that that's going to be a ball into the box. But again, and then Barcelona finds that goal. Maybe a little bit dubious play. Some say it was an offside by Luis Suarez. I don't think it was. It could have been by some centimeters, but it was nothing, let's say, flagrant by the refs. And then they find that goal and changes everything. After the goal, we started feeling, okay, what we are doing maybe is not enough. We need to do more. We don't know exactly or what more to do. And then Barcelona started feeling more comfortable and more comfortable. The team started breaking in midfield. Then Iniesta came in. For some reason, I felt Iniesta was not going to be, let's say, match ready today because of coming from an injury a long time without playing. But somehow, Iniesta being on the pitch, I think, made everybody at Barcelona feel that they were better players and they started definitely playing better. And in the second half, they dominated back, let's say. If we dominated the first half, they did dominate the second half. They had some very clear chances. Messi had one. It would have been a great goal, beautiful pass by Iniesta. But then, to me, the clearest chance was Neymar's. Neymar had one where he faced Carvajal. He dribbled past Carvajal. And really, I still can't understand how he didn't put that in, which would have been the end of the game. Because I think after that, in that weird time of the game where we felt, we deserved more, but in the end we're thinking, okay, we played well so far and we're losing. I think that was mentally kind of affecting us. And if Neymar had put that one in, I think that would have been the end of the game. But he didn't. And I think at the end, Real Madrid showed once again that maybe, we're stronger in the last 5 or 10 minutes than in the last half an hour. Because the last 10 minutes, I think we say, okay, we can't leave this stadium with no points after the game we've done. It wouldn't be fair. So we believed it. We went forward. And, about the substitutions, I was not very happy. I think Isco should have not come off for Casemiro. I think Casemiro should have come in. But maybe at that moment for Benzema and throw Modric and Isco a little bit up higher because they're offensive players. I think Benzema's game today was really poor, really poor. I know some of you that are Benzema fans will argue, he was very tactical, moving smartly or covering some spaces very intelligently. I think those are excuses. I think if this is the Benzema that we're waiting for, because in the end, okay, yeah, it's falta de ritmo. We have to wait for them to get into the pace, get into the dynamic. When? My question is when? Everybody else is ready, we're all in the dynamic, we're all pushing forward, and Benzema feels like he's not part of this team. Like he's walking there. Again, some of you might say, he walks smartly, or he occupies the spaces very intelligent. I don't agree with that. I think Benzema showed that, I don't know what's happening with him, but he shouldn't be playing or he shouldn't be starting for Real Madrid, and especially not in a game like this. I know, of course, that Morata was not an option because it's injured. We're suffering from the injuries, but I didn't like Benzema's game today. And the other kind of thing that leaves this game for me is if James was not an option, if we ended up putting Mariano, of course we needed a striker to go forward and look for that tying goal. But if James didn't play today, that's another thing that I'm not really clear about what's going to happen with James. Is James still counting as part of this team for Zinedine Zidane? I don't know. And then after that, I think it was a very exciting game. At the end, the first half was very boring. Both teams, let's say, respecting each other maybe a bit too much, as they always do. I think in these games, or at least we can see very clearly that at some moments, the fear of losing is greater than the desire of winning. And I think we saw that, or we saw a lot of that during the game, in specific moments. But again, 1-1 at the Camp Nou, it's a good result for us. We would have signed the draw before the game even started. 6 points difference. I would say nothing changes, but it's not true that nothing changes. Because what changes is that Barcelona had one very clear chance to steal 3 points from us, and they've missed it. They lost the chance. So, of course, it's not 9 points advantage that we could be talking right now about the league being maybe finished. But it isn't. It's 6 points that, have been, let's say, overcome before. We hope this is not the case this year. But what changes is that, they have 2 chances in the year. This was one, and they lost it. We could have killed them. We didn't. They could have killed us. They didn't. So I think it was fair, entertaining game as always. Galacticos, the Clasico, beautiful environment, beautiful scenario. We could have seen a bit more offensive football. I think we were all expecting a little bit more of that. I'm to say, if I knew it was going to be a draw from the beginning, I would rather see a 3-3 or a 4-4, but everybody does. So that's nothing new. Galacticos, this is not bad news. It could have been better. But it could have been worse, definitely. And it was this close to being a lot worse for us. Thank you again, Sergio Ramos. Thank you very much. So that's what I thought about the game. Let's see what you guys thought. Let's go with Mateo in the social corner.
Hey guys, what's up? So first of all, let's send a couple shout outs to Mary Official, Nick, Tyler, Simon, Stefan, Schwartzmeyer, Football for Life, Hamad Hill, Edwin Manuel, Mo Moradi, of course, Dogs Bog, Pixelate, and Boy Brilliant. So the first question from, this is actually a double question from Stefan Schwarzmeier. The first one is, man of the match, Vitaly. And the second one is, do you love me?
Stefan Schwarzmeier, Tyler Simon, official Nick, all my friends, thank you guys for being there. And those of you who I don't really have memorized your names yet, you know I love you. And again, I'm very thankful for you being there. Two questions, very good questions. Man of the match, I think definitely without was Luka Modric. Luka Modric played a brilliant game, controlling the midfield. Again, I said offensively and defensively. He was everywhere. He was able, maybe some tag teaming Messi with Kovacic, which seemed to work, and also offensively, whenever he had the ball, he did the right thing with it, being it to go forward and, you know, like put some pace to the play, or just to put some pause. But for sure, the first 45 minutes, the best player on the pitch was Luka Modric. The second half, I think Luka Modric showed a little bit tired, and we were talking here with Iñaki, with Mateo, that maybe, you know, the spark that we needed in the second half, especially counting that the second half started almost with their goal. I think the spark we needed was Marcelo. Again, Marcelo seemed to me a little bit weak defensively in the first half, but in the second half, definitely he, let's say, he took on that role of being the spark that we needed offensively. You know, it seemed that it was going to go or be all for naught, but in the end, you know, Sergio Ramos was there to put another yet legendary header at the end of the game. So I would say that Modric and Marcelo. And also, do you love me? Yes. I don't know who asked that, but whoever you are, I love you. Stefan, I love you.
So there you have it. He loves you, Stefan. The next question is from Mary. What do you think about Isco's performance? And she's also asked about James. Do you think that James should have started from the beginning of the match?
All right, I think Isco's first half was great, and he showed Zidane that, okay, don't be afraid of what you're doing, and don't be afraid of doing what's working for you. And I think there was a lot of talk in the press here, maybe a little bit of a campaign to not see Isco from the start and see Casemiro with more muscle. I think what we said in the preview was right. Casemiro is not ready. He wasn't ready to play at the Camp Nou. He played some minutes. We saw some movement, some plays that kind of, let's say, kind of confirmed the fact that he's not match ready yet. He's been out for 2.5 months, and jumping on the Camp Nou to play Barcelona is probably, you know, the most or the biggest task you can ask for a player. So let's say I don't think Casemiro was ready. I like the fact that he didn't start, and I would have liked to see Casemiro come in to control the game if we had been winning, but it wasn't the situation. I think Isco played great. Isco showed again that, you know, he's ready, he's match fit. He worked a lot defensively. He did occupy spaces intelligently. He's always good with the ball when he's sharp, and I think he is right now. I think Isco offers a lot of options when we have the ball. I loved Isco's game. I think when Isco came out for Casemiro, it should not have been Isco leaving the pitch. I think at that moment it should have been Benzema. And also the second question was about James. I know a lot of you people like James. I like James, love James, but James' situation is very strange. I assume you can understand that we're not as crazy for James as people are in Colombia or some places in South America. So to us, really here is, okay, James, if he plays well, you know, yeah, beautiful. We would love to see a good James, but it's not the end of the world if James is not counting because he's not playing well. So I don't think he should have started. I think he's out of rhythm, out of pace. He's not really feeling as an important part of this team. I might not agree with that. I would like to see James being a very important part of this team, but the reality right now is that he isn't, and you can't put a player on the pitch to play Barcelona, a player that is not feeling important or something that might bring you some psychological problems. So I don't think he should have started. I think he may have seen some minutes. You know, it would have maybe, instead of Asensio, we could have seen James, but Asensio played well. I think James' situation is bigger than this game. He shouldn't have played, he shouldn't have started, and hopefully we'll see James fighting for that spot again, but not today.
All right, the next question is, actually there's a double question from two different people. The first one from Rodrigo Silva. Ronaldo to play as a number 9, like against Atletico Madrid, because today we barely had any goal chances. I think this is a pretty good question here. And the second one from Miraj Sakawat. Should we be happy with this result? Also, Hasoon Tube, brother, No one won. We drew. You're asking who won, who won? No one won. We drew.
So Rodrigo Silva, my friend, to answer that question, I think yes, it's pretty clear, especially after the state of Benzema, or the state that Benzema showed to be in today. I think he was very poor, and I think, of course, what we saw in the Calderon with Cristiano playing as a number 9 really worked, because we had Isco, Lucas Vazquez, and Gareth Bale. I think the absence of Gareth Bale really conditioned the fact that we couldn't play the same formation today. And we had to play Benzema. And I think Benzema is just, again, not match fit. He was not ready or anywhere near an acceptable Benzema to be starting for Real Madrid. So I do think Cristiano should be a number 9. And, you know, when we have had, let's say, the scenario where we can play the system, best Real Madrid we've seen so far, we didn't have, let's say, the staff to do that today because Bale, again, was not available. But yeah, I do think that's the way to go with Ronaldo as a striker. And the next question, or the second question, was about...
Should we be happy with this result?
Oh, should we be happy with this result? I think we should. Yeah, definitely, I think we should, for 3 reasons. Number 1, we continue to be on an unbeaten streak that is not very far from being a record. I'd say, if I'm not mistaken, the record is held by Barcelona with 39 games. We're at 33 already, so it's only 6 more games. And if we didn't lose this game today, I don't see us losing any of the 6 or 7 games we have coming. So that's number 1. Number 2, yeah, I mean, think about it. We're 6 points ahead of Barcelona. You know, we've all these years been talking about the league. The league is so important. Barcelona are winning leagues without even trying anymore. And this time, if Barcelona wants to win the league, they're going to have to try real hard. Real hard. Maybe the hardest they've tried in the last 5 or 6 years. And the other one is not only Barcelona trying, is that after this consistent Real Madrid, the very, let's say, at least result-wise, this Real Madrid is very reliable. So I don't see Real Madrid dropping 6 points out of nowhere. So that's the second reason why we should be happy. And the third reason why we should be happy is, in the end, you know, if we think about history, or the recent history, we haven't done very well at the Camp Nou. Well, we won last year in the league, but let's say if we analyze the last 10 games Real Madrid have played in the Camp Nou, or 15 games, I don't think the balance is very positive. So, you know, we could have won, but we were 2 minutes away from losing. So I think we should be happy. This leaves us in a very comfortable position in the league. So yeah, I don't see a reason why not to be happy.
All right. So there's more questions and more comments here. A lot of you are asking about getting rid of Benzema and signing Lewandowski or signing Agüero. Guys, I have to remind you that we can't sign anybody. Okay? So yes, it's nice to talk about signings and all that stuff, but we can't sign anyone. So let's get the next question here from Hman339. Should Mariano start over Benz versus Dortmund? I think this is pretty interesting.
It's a good question. It's a good question. I mean, if we stuck to the 4-4-2 and Benzema and Cristiano, and if the option is Benzema and Cristiano or Mariano and Cristiano, I don't know. I saw such a poor Benzema today that I would replace him for nobody. You know, I would play with 10, which it's kind of what I felt like we were doing tonight, you know, playing with 10, because Benzema is not really there. Now, again, the other thing with Mariano is, the last we saw of Mariano was Mariano scoring 3 goals 4 days ago against the Cultural, but that's kind of weird. You know, we saw Mariano today and playing Barcelona in the Camp Nou. He only had one chance at the end, and it was kind of clear that, you know, Mariano is not ready to be the striker of Real Madrid against a serious team. I also think that there's nothing to detract from Mariano. I think he's a good player, he's a great prospect, but he's not ready yet. So I don't know really, because Benzema in a horrible day could always have 1 or 2 sparks because he's such a talented player with such an experience that maybe would be too much to expect from Mariano. I think Mariano is doing great. Mariano is really eager. We can see Mariano with a lot of enthusiasm, but I don't know if that is enough to match what Benzema can offer, even being, you know, a ghost on the pitch. So I don't really know. Against Dortmund, I don't think Mariano will start against Dortmund. If I think it would be right or wrong, I don't know. I think it would be wrong. I think he could play. And again, we see that, you know, if need be, we can come to count on Mariano. But to be honest with you, I don't see Mariano starting.
All right, guys. So this is going to be the last question. But first, I need to highlight some someone here commenting. So it turns out that we have a marriage proposal. Mo Moradi has asked Mary to marry him. He's written, Mary, marry me. Okay, now all jokes aside, sorry about that, Mo. We have the last question from It's Huzi. Are Barcelona finished and will we win the league? Please answer. This is the $1 million question, isn't it?
Okay, I think this is two questions in one. Number one, will we win the league? I think we will. To be honest with you, I think we're showing to be the most consistent team. Maybe not playing the most beautiful football, but hey, winning is not about playing beautifully all the time. So I think the most serious, the strongest team, the most consistent, in the numbers and on the pitch with sensations, I think is Real Madrid. Definitely, things can change as they did in that the famous Ancelotti season where we saw the best Real Madrid in the first 6 months and then we fell apart. I think Real Madrid will win the league. I don't see Real Madrid kind of going back to a situation where we can't, or we just drop points for no reason. And I think, it could have been better after today. It could have been a 9-point lead. It is a 6-point lead, which is great. And I think I don't see Real Madrid dropping, enough points for that advantage to not take us to be the winners of the league. Are Barcelona finished? I think that's a separate question altogether. No, I don't think Barcelona are finished. I mean, they're going through a tough moment. They're not really finding their best system of playing, or at least being consistent in their way of playing. But, I think it would be very naive and dangerous to consider Barcelona dead at this point of the season, because them, as us, and as most big teams in Europe, we can fight against adversity. So I wouldn't say that Barcelona are finished. No.
All right, guys, so we hit the 20-minute mark. We're going to wrap this up. We have more people sending marriage proposals to Mary. Actually, official Nick is now proposing to Mo Morali. Okay, it's getting a little bit weird. Let's send a couple of shout-outs here to Mo Morali, Trigger Happy Plus, Pixelate, official Nick.
Ultrasur 9000, Pixelate, Walid Rahim, Salid Dief, Black, Joao Reyes, It's Husi, Concord, official Nick. Guys, again, as always, a pleasure. Thank you for being there. We appreciate it very much. And of course, as always, we will see you tomorrow. All right, have a good weekend.